Hello everybody, Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Tuesday, kind of windy here in in Dallas, but it's clear and we're coming into the holiday weekend. I won't be here for Christmas Eve and Christmas, but I'll be back on Monday. So tomorrow is my last show, not of the year, but of this week, and then I'll probably be back next week, probably for 4 days, and then right before New Year's, I probably will be off on that Friday. So just kind of giving you the general schedule. So let's get started. Well, let's see. It's, you know, is there a changing of a card out there? I don't know. But it seems like Tesla's up, and Tesla's down, and Apple's up. So I'm completely sold out of Tesla right now. I'm waiting for it to move back above, above basically the 650 range. Apple's moved up nicely. I added another 100 shares right before the show, and so that's kind of interesting. But the S&P's off a little bit, 63.90.33. That's the S&P 500. Dow Jones is still above that key 30,000 level, so that's very good. Nasdaq's up a little bit. And we're still in a confirmed uptrend, if you can believe that. So that's kind of, that's kind of how the general overall market is trading. We probably will see a little bit of a sell-off into the end of the year, just because people like to get ready for taxes. I know I'll be doing it with some of my portfolios, just so that I can kind of realize some of the gains in this year and start again on the next year, on 2021. So hopefully that'll be a great year for everyone. I know this year, believe it or not, was a very good year for me. Hope it was for you too. I want to show you Apple really quickly. Apple is basically finally moved out of that sort of sort of the resistance right there at about the oops, I moved it to Tesla. Didn't want to do that. Let's move it back to Apple. It's currently 132.22, up about $4, which is great because that's about 3%. It's moved past that key 127 level, so I do think it's going to move. It's going to move higher. Can you get into at this point? Well, I do think we are. This is a relatively good place to buy Apple. We're going to see. We may see some resistance on up to about 137, and we're getting. We're five away from that. If it moves above this 137 here, then I think we're actually going up from there. So we may be seeing a renaissance in Apple, and I definitely have doubled my position, to see if I can catch some of that upward momentum. Now remember, if you do go in to Apple, make sure that you're setting your stop loss at about 2.5% below where you come into the stock initially, and then as you get a feel for it, then start adjusting that stop loss. So hopefully this won't be a false move, but it looks very good. There's some good volume there, and hopefully we're going to start to see the beginning of a little bit of a run on Apple. That's my hope anyways, and that's why I definitely doubled my position today. Tesla, another story. It's pulled back, and of course, if you've been watching me for a while, hopefully you had your stop losses set. I had mine at 665. I was essentially sold out. I'm going to kind of wait for a bounce. I think we're going to have another consolidation in here, but when it moves above that about 650 level, 660 or so, then I think we're going to see a very nice movement once again. But right now, some of the big boys are shaking out us small investors. Remember, we're always at the mercy of the big funds, and a lot of the big funds are going to have to move into the stock. So they're kind of playing games, and they're just kind of shaking the rug there a little bit, trying to get rid of us little shrimp here. But I think it will retain. Will start moving back. Hopefully up in the next few days. Of course, it made its high in about 695. There seems to be some resistance right about 700. So it's really not going to be off to the races until it moves above that 700 range, and that may not be this year. It may be in the next year, for that. So we just don't know. But right now, Right now, keep your powder dry, get ready to buy, but right now it's not a good time to buy Apple. Just wanted to show you another stock that I doubled down on. I've held this for a long time. This is, if any of you have been looking at my small, I started out with this one basically in my under $10 stock portfolio. Haven't had that for a while. I may put that show back on, but this is one of them. Blink Charging. It's just they signed a deal with some major manufacturers today. I doubled my position in this one as well. It's up about $9.90 or about 26%. So I don't know if it'll hold on to this, but it looks like we may be seeing a very nice run on Blink Charging. And this, of course, is a kind of a little company that they acquired EasyGo, which is one of the other charging station companies, and this is going to become increasingly important for the other EV manufacturers, because Tesla has superchargers all around, but they're not compatible with a lot of the other cars because it's a kind of a proprietary thing. So these other stations like Blink Charging, basically they work with your cell phone. You just drive up with your car. You get out your iPhone, and you can charge it out right up, and they have deals with bodegas and various other places. So I think it's going to have a very strong future. Who knows? It probably will pull back a little bit, but it had a nice gap up today, basically on some news. Now the question is, I'm going to be pushing up my stop loss on this one, so that if it pulls back, I'm going to capture some of the profit. But who knows? It may hold very steady. I suspect this is going to pull back tomorrow. That's generally the way what happens. What happens the next day is that they generally will pull back, but this is definitely should be on your list. Blink Charging. And also another one, I did buy this one yesterday. I didn't double my position in this one. It's called Chegg. It just moved above a very key buy point on a basically a double. It's actually 2-cup formation. Really, it's a double bottom, but it's sort of 2 cups here. And it did pull above the buy point, and then I did also buy this one. The volume is up significantly, 24% above these 50-day moving average. So that's another one that kind of, maybe you might want to put on your radar. We'll see how it works. Edit, the one I had yesterday on the breakout, I sold that one this morning. It pulled back. I had my stop loss in very tight at 2.5%, and I made a quick, 5% profit for the day. So not bad. Here are my current holdings. Of course, I'm in Apple. Current price when this slide was taken, $132.15. Blink Charging, it's up just tremendously, 25% price jump. There's not a lot of retail investors in this one, it seems. So it moved very quickly. $47.36 is the price on that one. Progeny, it's up strongly as well. And Zscaler, of course, it's up as well. A little bit, Bitcoin seems to be finding some equilibrium here, but I think it's still a very, very good buy in the future, because I do think that once the New Year's rolls around and we figure out that we don't really have, the emperor has no clothes, and a lot of people are out of work, unfortunately, I think a lot of the retail is going to be hit, and I think a lot of people are going to want to seek some protection in Bitcoin, and this is a good way to buy it. Cloudflare's up again. This has just been a solid performer. I haven't sold my position. Janab up as well. Twilio up strongly. Palantir's off a little bit, but still at 28. The key level for this is going to be about 30. If it moves beyond 30, I think it's going to even move higher. This one could double in the next year, Palantir. And then Chegg, of course, that's the one that I was talking about this just a few minutes ago. And that's basically up about $3 or about 3.44% coming out of the chute. So yeah, not bad at all. We'll see. I'm going to really be lightening up a little bit towards the end of the year, just because just because that's always a good idea to do it at the end of the year like that, is to lighten up. Get ready for taxes. I know I'm going to have some taxes this year. So let's see if we can get some. Well, is that interesting? I don't seem to be. Let's see if I'm. Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. Well. See if we can get that. I want to get the TikTok questions up. Here we go. Well, hopefully that'll become up here in just a second. I can read them right off the thing, anyways. Okay, so let's see. First question CLSK, CLSK. So let's see if what we've got on what we've got on CLSK. And CLSK, CleanSpark. It's a software. It's an energy software company and control company, and we were up just tremendously today. Interesting. Let's take a look at the chart here. 25.74, up $3.94. That's tremendous. 18%. Wowee. Let's see if this is buyable. Okay, so we have 99 relative strength. That's looking good. We did have a little bit of a downward motion in the sales. So the sales are down. It does have increasing fund ownership. I do like that. 13 in the last quarter. Negative cash flow there, but it's a software company. So, let's see. Checklist is 6 out of 9, so that's okay. Not a lot of funds in this one. Let's look at the industry and sector. 85, so that's not necessarily bad. Yeah, this is definitely a watch list. Here's the thing. I don't see a really good buy point on this one. Yeah, unfortunately, the last real, I would say, true buy point is on this consolidation. It looks like we've had some kind of a flag here. The real buy point on this one would be when it moved above about 1840, and it's currently at 25. So here's the thing about this one. Wait for this thing to pull back a little bit, and then you might get another chance on that as it pulls back. But right now, it's too far extended, and I don't think it's probably going to be the best in terms of, this is what they call a blow-off top, and it's probably going to pull back strong. So I wouldn't buy it right now, but if I was in it, I would take my stop loss and push it up so that when it snaps back that you can get some of that good upward motion. Let's look at Blink Charging. I just want to look at it for just a second, BLNK. This is also sort of in a blow-off top situation as well. Yeah, okay, so it's at 48, up $10. And as you can see, there was a bit of a consolidation right here, and then it blew right above that. Race 39 was basically the buy point on that. 99 relative strength. Let's look at the weekly chart over here. Yeah, so we're clearly, definitely in a place. We've got good sales growth. That's nice. We're still in a loss position. 15% fund ownership. That's on Blink Charging. So just wanted to check that just because I did buy that one just a few minutes ago. So I wanted to kind of check, see how that was shaping up. So let's get to some of the questions from YouTube. What do you think about Ambarella? AMBA. Let's take a look at AMBA just real quick. AMBA. Ambarella designs system-on-a-chip semiconductor processing solutions for use in cameras and security surveillance. I'm not familiar with the company. Currently, it's $92.23, up $4.14. Wow. Last 2 quarters, though, have been down on the sales, so I'm not exactly excited about that, but it does have positive cash flow. I like to see that. Also, we have increasing fund ownership. Very, very nice as well. So let's give it the smell test, see what's happening there. On the checklist, it's 6 out of 9, so it definitely passes. And we have increasing fund ownership. Wow, so this is looking actually very good. Let's look at the daily chart to see if there's any entry point. There really isn't an entry point on this one, unfortunately. The only place that I could really see it being an entry point would be right about here, about 73.69. It looks like it's well above that. Unfortunately, there's not really a good entry point on this. If you want to buy this one, I would put this on the watch list. I wouldn't buy this right now, but I would wait to see if it pulled back to about there, about 84, I believe. Yeah, about $84. If it pulls back to $84, that's going to be your that's going to be the 21-day line. If it pulls back to the 21-day line and then reverses higher, then I think you might have a buy. But right now, this is a watch list. Good quality stock, though. Good quality stock. A question on CRISPR. And of course, this is a very interesting stock, Swiss company. I did buy a companion stock to this yesterday, symbol EDIT. This is really the future, I think. CRSP is the symbol. And of course, they do the CRISPR gene editing, and so it's very, very interesting. Very nice. Up $3.55 today. Wow, look at that! Look at that. We have sort of a consolidation here, so it looks like it's pulled above that consolidation level, pulling back a little bit. 183.56 is a significant area. Let's look at the weekly chart. We're down a little bit in sales, but sales are not necessarily as important in a biotech stock. That's how they tend to trade. We do have some positive cash flow, though. Interestingly enough, our sales are down, but we have positive cash flow. Lots of funds are moving into this one, and we have a 96 relative strength. Wow, that's very good. Let's look at the checklist. Yep, 6 out of 9. That's passes, and we have increasing fund ownership. Could you buy this today? Well, actually, based on what I'm seeing here, I wouldn't necessarily buy this today, but you could buy this today based on the relative strength line. It is pointing up, so that is a positive symbol. But really, unfortunately, the last real true buy point on this was a cup, basically back in September timeframe, at 105.12, and that was really the last real buy point before the breakout. I would watch this one. I think that there's a little bit of a railroad tracks going on here. You might be able to get a breakout, but I don't necessarily think you want to buy it this far extended. It's going to be a little bit difficult if you do. It's just a little bit dangerous if you buy it that far extended, and it is pretty far extended right now. But a good stock. Hi, Jim. BBY and CRM, please. They're both reversing for the 200-day moving average, bullish on the MACD. Okay, thanks. Great. Hey, that's good. Let's take a look at BBY. Okay, Best Buy. Yeah, I think you might have something here. Let's just take a quick look to see if we have a nice reversal. I'm going to look at the daily chart. Yeah, okay, we're right. Here's the thing. It looks like we have the beginning of a reversal, but we're not quite there yet. Where you want to buy is right there at the 21-day moving average. So here's the plan that I would do for this one. At 105, we're very, very close to that. Set a buy stop limit order at 105.50. And then as it moves, and forever, whatever you want, and then set the limit up 10 cents above that, so about 105.60, and then as it moves higher than that, you're going to be able to capture the upward moment. But it does look like it's starting to make a turn to on a reversal, and it seems but the key level here is a close above this 21-day line. Now there are some things that I want to show you that are concerning me a little bit. The 40-day is above the 21-day. So really, in order for really to show the reversal, we need to see the 21-day above the 40-day. So if you wanted to make a small buy here above the 21-day, I think that would be good. But hold off on your real buying until it's above the 40-day, and that's going to be at this level here, which is about 112.40. So if you want to go with a half position buy stop limit a 105.50, and then 10 cents above that to buy for the first time half position, and then for another half position possibly at the 40-day line at 112 if you want to build a position in it. If you are interested in more discussion about what a buy stop limit order is, I just did a video on how to do it on my YouTube channel, so it's just over at youtube.com, and it's called Chart School, and it should be over there so that you can see kind of what I'm talking about in terms of in terms of the buy stop limit order that lets you buy as the stock is moving higher, and sometimes that can be a really good thing to get a really good price on the stock. All right, so now from TikTok, thoughts on Riot. Okay, this is Riot Blockchain, and this is a definitely very, very, very interesting stock. I don't own it, but I've looked at it, and it has been on one of my watch lists, up tremendously today. And this was essentially a $10 stock. The question is, how high will it fly? We don't know, but right now it's trading at 1464. Broke out of this sort of consolidation area here. So it really, let's look at the weekly chart to see if we can find anything there. Yeah, it's still unfortunately the last buy point on this one was a cup with handle at $4.46. It's $14. You could probably double your money on this one. I would wait until this one to pull back to about $12. I'm going to put this on my list. $12 in order to buy it, but definitely interesting. I don't think I would buy it at this level. It's a little bit too extended. Let's see if it pulls back a little bit, reverses, and then on the reversal, then it might make more sense to buy that on the reversal. All right, so let's look at CRM. Of course, that's Salesforce. Everybody should know that. CRM. And Salesforce Tower in San Francisco, which is sinking, by the way. Let's look at the daily chart on CRM. Yeah, unfortunately, I just can't recommend it right now. It is in a little bit of a decline right now. We haven't really, it's still below where it needs to be on the reversal. Here's the thing: I don't think it's really viable until it moves above 242. I don't think it's really viable until it moves above the 40-day line. So I would watch this one. This is not a buy right now. Let's look at the checklist. Yeah, okay, 6 out of 9. So that's very good. I don't like the relative strength at 46. That's a little bit low for me. Let's look at the fund ownership. Fund ownership is definitely moving up. That's a good sign. And we have very nice, very, very predictable sales growth, about 20% quarter over quarter. So that's very good. In general, the company's really good, but let's see it move above that 40-day line before buying it. Right now, it's a watch list. Wait for the 40-day line, and then if it crosses the 40-day line, then as it's moving higher, that's really where you kind of want to be. Okay, so hi Jim. Tesla seems to have lost its swag. How to trade it now? Is it a short soon? I don't think it's a short. I just think that, it's just kind of run out of gas. I mean, everything has its day. I'm not writing it off, but I'm also not in it either. I've sold all my shares of Tesla basically at 665. That was where I sold. I'm kind of waiting until we can see some more power, maybe reversal. It's a 640. It's just in this consolidation mode right here. From about here to about here, that's sort of where it's trading. It really needs to break above about 670, 665, 675 before it really will regain it once more. So we got to watch this one right now. I do think that there are going to be a lot of funds that are going to move into it. That are going to move into it. But right now, it's sort of in this range between about 610 and about 670, and I think it's going to be in this range until it moves above that. We can't really buy it. There is some resistance at about 670, 675, and at 700. So it topped out at about 695 on Friday, and that probably was, at least in the near term, that may be its high. That may be the high for the year. But I do think after the new year, I think it may, we may be going higher. So, every company moves, has a movement, and then it kind of rests a little bit, and then it gets back into it. So, thank you. Hi, Jim. How does after hours trading work? Is it open to anyone, and does it depend on the platform broker uses? Well, actually, it does somewhat depend on the platform. Now, I use three platforms: Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, and Fidelity. They all offer after-hours trading. Here's the thing about after-hours trading: it's typically a little bit thinner. I don't like it. You know, I will sell in the after hours, but I'll rarely buy in the after hours because it's a thinner and you don't get quite the bid ask. It's a little bit more of a spread, so I don't particularly like it. I typically try to trade in hours, and that's just kind of a rule I've set myself. You know, just to kind of maintain my my sanity over a period of time, is to trade in regular hours. It's just easier for me. It's more liquid, and the reason liquidity is so important to me is if, you know, I have to exit a position quickly because there's some kind of downward motion, I'm always going to get a bid on it. So, and I like that. You know, part of my strategy is to put stop losses in, so that if there's pullbacks, I'm sold out, and I hopefully insulate myself from some of the losses, because it's always disheartening when you made some money and then you have to give it all back in a round trip. So don't really like that much. Okay, hi Jim. What do you think of MPW? Let's look at MPW quickly here. MPW, and that is medical prop. Oh yeah, I remember. I think I had this on early this year. Haven't really traded it that much. Let's look at the weekly chart. Now, I'm not really a fan of real estate at this time, just because there's so much issues in real estate. Drawing this trend line, unfortunately, shows that we are still in a downward trend. We really need to come above this first stage consolidation at 24.29 in order to be on, to be back. But we do have a good trend. So, the trend is your friend, and the weekly trend is good. Let's look at some of the other criteria here. It's only a 55 relative strength. I think that there's better opportunities out there. The checklist is good though, 8 out of 9, and we have increasing fund ownership, which is all good. Concerns here. I think that there's, I don't think this is a bad stock, but I don't think this is a great stock either. It just doesn't have the things that I'm looking for. It's a good average stock. It's not a great stock. So that's my opinion. I think that you're going to do better with some other issues. The only real estate play that I like right now is IIP, Innovative. I think it's IIP. It's the cannabis REIT. Is that right? I don't know. But anyways, that's the only real one I like. I'm not really that bullish on real estate right now based on the economy. I think it's very, very, there's going to be some defaults. And so I just think that even in the medical space, even with Biden coming in, because that's going to favor some of the medical industry, it's going to favor them. I still think that, the property, it's just a tough time for property right now. And the rents just aren't supporting a lot of these valuations that they have out there. So let's look at CrowdStrike, CRWD. This is also a really good one. CRWD. The whole internet security space is doing very, very well. Look at that. Wow, it's up $14.25 today. Just a lot of stuff really moving strongly today. This is one of my favorites. I was in this. I got stopped out of it, unfortunately, and I wish I hadn't been. 97 relative strength, just powerful all the way. The checklist is great, 8 out of 9, and increasing fund ownership. So all of those things are looking very, very, very strong. We also have very nice accumulation here in the volume. On the weekly chart, we're definitely up on sales, so that's very good. And we have just a very, very slight cash flow. We're almost cash flow positive on this. This is, but what tells the story here, of course, are the number of funds that are in it. Question: is there a place to buy it? Well, technically the last place to technically buy it would have been about 153.90, and unfortunately it's moved up from that now. The question is, can we buy this? It's going to be tough because it's very, very extended. Really, I think that you could buy it at 185, but it's 224, so this is going to be a very, very tough one to buy. I just don't know. Sometimes these things get away from you and you just can't buy them. But because it's even extended above the 10-day line. So I don't know. You could jump into this one. If you did, push your stop loss up very, very quickly, because it's likely to pull back very hard. And we're well above the buy point. So unfortunately, it doesn't give us the best entry on this one on CrowdStrike. Great stock, just not a really great entry for it. It's just too extended. Let's look at NEO. I was in NEO. I got shaken out. It's down a little bit today. This one is, as well, with the other Chinese EV makers, this one has been, I think this is probably the best of the Chinese EV makers. And it looks like it's forming a little bit of a consolidation here, kind of in this area. So it looks like it may be consolidating here. That would be a good thing if it pulled back to the 40-day line, and because that's probably the best place to buy it. So let's look at the daily chart. Yeah, unfortunately, this thing is going to have to pull down to this line here, this red line, and that's right about $40, maybe $40.50. It's currently at 47, so let this thing pull back down. If we get a reversal at about 40, that's where you want to buy it. But right now, I think you're just going to have to watch this. Great stock. I just don't think you can buy it this extended right now. I think it's going to pull back. So wait for it to pull back, reverse on that 40-day line, and then when it goes higher, then you might have a really nice buy on NEO. I like NEO. Thoughts on BE approaching all-time highs. By the way, everybody, when I'm talking about, people think, why I'm crazy. Why would I buy something only if it goes up? This is really strange. In stocks, really, one of the best buying strategies is not to buy on dips. It's to buy on higher highs. So buying at a high is not necessarily a bad idea. It's a very good idea, actually. The question is, it's hard to get these when they have the right, just the right chart pattern. Now, for Bloom Energy, the all-time high was made way back here in September of 2018, and it's almost come back up to that level. This is not necessarily important, but it gives you an idea of the potential. The last buy point on the cup first stage was at 23.38. Currently, it's at 30.31. It's up $4 or about 15% today. That's a lot. The question is, let's look at the stock. It's got a 77 checklist, so that's good. Its ownership is increasing. That's good. We do, though, have some concerns here with the sales growth. They're actually declining sales growth, so that is not good. And of course, we have negative cash flow as well. So those two things are not. I don't like them. But purely on technical basis, you could buy this at the pullback to the 21-day line. Now, unfortunately, we missed that opportunity because that opportunity happened yesterday when it pulled right to the 21-day, and then boom, it went right back up, and then tomorrow, and then it's moved higher. Now, it probably is going to be pulling back to about here, about 28 or so. We'll see if it forms a new base there, but basically, really the only place you can buy this is at the 21-day line. But as you can see with the relative strength, 98, and the relative strength line is pointed up, and it's above the 40-day. That's all very bullish. So it is definitely a bullish stock. I would wait on this one. Wait for a pullback to the 21-day. I know I sound like a broken record, but it is a little bit extended, and that might pose some difficulties going forward. Okay, so let's look at we looked at Riot Blockchain, Boeing. Okay, let's look at Boeing. These are probably stocks not to buy. Now Boeing is the largest component of the Dow, and there's only 30 stocks in the Dow. This was at one time, and I still think it is, the number one exporter in the United States in terms of dollar volume. I still don't really like this. This has never really recovered. Let's take a look at the chart. It looks like it may be forming a head and shoulders pattern here. If you'll notice, this is the first shoulder. This is a shorting pattern. It has the first shoulder. It looks like it's formed the head now. And what's going to happen is it's probably going to move down. There's going to be another rally, and then it's going to collapse. So this one, when the market turns, and it's probably going to turn early in the Biden administration. I suspect the market's going to turn down probably in the first or second quarter of next year. Maybe not. I hope it doesn't. Then this will be an excellent candidate to short. But right now, you absolutely don't want to buy this one. This is toxic. As a matter of fact, you're starting to see the big boys go for the door. As you can see, in December there was 2,100 funds in it. In March, 1,700. June, 1,500. We're holding at 1,500. It's going to go lower. The funds are looking for an exit on Boeing. So Boeing should be on your short list. And we ought to be getting ready to short Boeing, but right now it is not a short. I just don't be very careful on this one. I don't think it's I don't think it's a good time. Now, you never want to short in a confirmed uptrend. We're in a confirmed uptrend right now, so now is not the time to short. But if we do go to a market uptrend under pressure or a correction, that's when we want to get the shorts out and possibly short Boeing, because it looks like it's setting up for a head and shoulders pattern, and that, of course, is the shorting pattern. And if that happens, I will be putting out some chart schools on it and sort of how to deal with that. All right, thanks for Riot Tip. Yeah, man, took a half position at 8.8. You know what, boy, this is really up to you. You know what? I think you probably should. Wow. Boy, I wish I'd taken a half position. I should eat my own dog food. I should have taken a half position. You know what? I think you might want to buy a little bit more here, because you're gonna average in on the cost. I wouldn't buy necessarily a full position, maybe a quarter position, but if you do that, you're still going to have a really, really good average cost on your shares. Always remember, that's one of the key things. You want a pyramid going in, but you always want to keep track of your average on your shares. Like, for instance, today I bought more Apple. Why? Because I had bought Apple right before it started its move up. I wouldn't have normally bought another full position today. I did because of the fact that I had the other shares at a lower price. That's the reason. And the same with Blink Charging. So that, I think you might want to be buying more. To be honest, you might want to be buying more shares there, Dinesh. I hope that's great. That's so good that you got in on that one. Excellent. Jeff, great. Hi, Jim. We're thinking about SPWR and FSR. Let's take a look at FSR really quick. First, FSR. Let's see. And this is Fisker. Okay. I like the story on Fisker. I like the EV space, as you well know. I mean, I'm kind of an EV. I like the EV space. I'm a Tesla bull. And I do like other things around it, such as Blink Charging and that kind of thing. Fisker, I think, is very well set up. They can actually produce a car, but I just think it's too early on Fisker. I don't think it's ready yet. I think it will get here. I think Fisker eventually down the road is probably going to be an acquisition for somebody like a Ford or a GM, to be honest with you. I don't like the chart. It's too messy for me. I like Hans Fisker. I like their concepts. I think they've got excellent engineering, but there's just certain things I don't like about it. It's only got a 66 relative strength, and the chart is moving down. So, as painful as it is, Jeff, I think you need to skip FSR, at least for a while. At least for a while. Let's look at let's look at SPWR. Let's take a look at that one. SunPower, yeah. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Boy, this is the one. Out of these two, this is definitely the one you want here. So let's kind of look at SunPower and see if there's any place to buy it. One thing, I don't like the fact that we do have a declining sales, but I love this relative strength of 99. You know, it's pretty hard to go wrong when you're buying those 99s. Let's look at the checklist. Definitely meets a small test at 6 out of 9. That's great. Ownership is increasing. Excellent. Let's look at the industry and sector. God, it's number one in the industry and sector. Boy, it just doesn't get better. Let's look at the competitors. Sunrun. Okay, yeah, this looks like the best of the breed too. The only problem with SunPower, and it passes every other test. The only problem is, where do you buy this thing? Boy, this is tough to buy. Really, the last time there was really a buy, best time there's really buy was at 24. But it's so hard to get those as they break out. But this definitely broke out. Here's what I would do. I actually believe that you could buy it at this level. Now, if you do buy it, at this level, be forewarned. It may pull back, and it may pull back hard. Okay. I think this is a very good stock, and based on the chart I'm looking at, I think it's great too. But I think you could buy this. But here's the thing: if you buy it, immediately put in a stop loss 2.5% below where you buy it. That's going to be take what you paid for it times 0.975. But I like this one. Will it continue to go up? It's probably going to pull back and consolidate right about the $27 level. So you might want to wait for it to pull back. I do think it's going to pull back a little bit, but because no stock goes up straight. But this one definitely has legs. I mean, I'm looking at a seriously nice channel here. This has got a lot of good stuff going on. Let's kind of take a look at Blink, BLNK again. See how it's sort of moving up fast. And it looks like it's right at the top of the range. Now it'll probably pull back, but I've had Blink. It's funny. I've had Blink since the summer. I've been holding on to it. I started buying it right in this range, in about the $14 range. So these early stage ones can pull up, but you gotta protect yourself from these pullbacks because they can be severe. But I think that SunPower, it's one of those, but just protect your, here's the thing, you need to put that stop loss in there, protect your gain, protect the gain, because that makes all the difference. You don't want to round trip these things. But I really like SunPower. I'm not so hot on Fisker. I like Fisker, the company, I like the car, I like Hans Fisker, I like the whole thing. I just don't like the stock, but I like the SunPower. So let's take a look at, and thank you very much for that. Now that I'm off on a little soapbox here about electric vehicles, but I think, investing as long as you're careful, investing in the electric vehicle space is sort of a mega trend, and you can do very, very well on it. You just have to be a little bit careful on it, but set those stop losses tight. But it's definitely the way to go. It's definitely the way to go. All right, so can you shout out the checklist for UAVS? Let's take a look at that. UAVS. And that's Argyle Aerial. Oh, yeah, okay. This is an interesting one, too. Okay. Let's look at the weekly chart. A little bit spiky. This is a penny stock, so with penny stocks, they're very much harder to buy. Just because they don't have as much support. But it looks as if there was some support right here on this consolidation today, and it's 99 relative strength. Look at that. It's got very nice sales, so good things are happening. It's a little bit of, this is a thin stock. Now, could you double your money on this? Absolutely. But here's the thing. You got to watch out with liquidity on this one because you may not have a lot of when you go to sell this thing, you may not be able to sell it as well. It's just a little bit thin. It's the amount of float is not very much. It's only 48 million shares, and the market capitalization is under $1 billion, and this just isn't a lot, folks. This just isn't a lot. So and there's 58 million shares outstanding. So this is a very small issue when it comes to things. It just really is. Let's look at the checklist. 7 out of 9. That's great. Here's the thing. If you buy this stock, you're going to have to be willing to hold it through much, much, much deeper corrections. This thing isn't going to correct just 3 to 5%. This is going to correct like 20% very easily. So the question is, what is your stomach for risk? What is your stomach for risk? Because it's right now it's at 679. Well, you know, just in the last few days it's been as low as 3. So that is a 50% move on the stock. You know what? I would, you know, and as Mega Homes is as painful as it is, I would skip this one only because, not because it's not a good stock. It's a good stock. It's just too thin of an issue, and it's just too volatile. So you want to be very, very careful on this. Let's take a look at, okay, thank you very much. QS, let's look at QS here. Let's do an analysis on QS real quick and see if we've got a good entry point. QuantumScape, okay, this is also a relatively new stock. It looks like an IPO base. Yeah, it's just coming. It's just getting time for it to buy. Remember, when you're buying an IPO, you want to wait about 3 months because that'll shake out people. And as you can see, that's indeed what's happened here. You know, it came out of the box. There was a lot of excitement, as you can see by this buying. Then it kind of went into doldrums, and then it was picked up by some of the funds. It's just moved up tremendously. I wonder if this is an acquisition. Develops next generation solid state lithium metal batteries for electric vehicles. I like the area that it's in. You know, the thing is, if they've licensed their technology to like a Panasonic or something, then we really have a winner. It's very speculative. There's 27 funds in it though, but the funds only represent 2%. Wow, this is a tough one. You know, if you have a very, you know, I don't say, yeah, it's got 6 out of 9. It does have funds in it. Let's look at how much the size of the float. The float, okay, so the float is decent. It's got $3 billion in the market cap, so that's definitely enough. Boy, where would I do in this one? You know what? I would probably, boy, I would watch this one. I see how this one trades. I think it's a little bit too high right now. Let's see if it pulls back a little bit. You know, it's in a good space. I mean, you know, and the funds are moving into it. What I would do is I'd be careful with this one. I don't think I would buy it right this time. Let it pull back. Let it consolidate, and then we might have another bite at the apple. So put this on the watch list. Don't buy this one right now. Hey, Real Madrid, excellent, great team, of course. CS. I think you mean CSPR. Oh, CRISPR today broke through the resistance level. Today's proved a big winner. Yeah, let's look at CRISPR. Is it CRSR? Let's look at CRSR. Now, I'm glad you're, yeah, Corsair. Oh, I'm sorry, Corsair Gaming. This is on my watch list, so I'm watching this one. Absolutely, I totally agree with you on this one. This one is a potential buy. Let's see where we can buy it, though. I definitely have a, yeah, this one's a buy. We're down today. You see it's consolidating. It's moving right back to this this level here. It's got a 97 relative strength there. It's selling off today, but this one is totally buyable, and it is buyable probably at this level right here. So we're going to have to wait for it probably to pull back a little bit more. It's at 40.95. So where could you buy this? Well, here's how I would buy this one. I do think this is buyable. I would set my my stop limit, my buy stop limit at right about here. Okay, that's going to be about 43. Okay, right now it's at 40.95. Okay, and basically I want to see it move above about 43 on volume before I want to buy it. Now each day I want to move this down. until eventually it breaks through this. But I think that you could buy this on a buy stop limit order at about 42, and I think that would be a great buy. Now, why do you want to buy it higher than where you are now? Because as it's moving higher, that's where the power is. You want to capture the power, you want to ride the escalator up, and you want to keep that moving that stop loss up, and then when it does pull back, and it will, you want to capture that profit. So here's how I would do it. Right now it's at 40.95 and it's down. I would wait. I would set a buy stop limit order on it, and then I would each day I would possibly reduce it until there was a reversal. Then as it reverses, it's going to buy it, and then you're going to be in the money. So I definitely like this one a lot. I was looking at this right before we came on the show. It's got 55 funds in it, which is excellent. It has 7 out of 9 in terms of the buying criteria, so it's excellent all the way around. I think that this could be a very, very good buy. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, the only thing about this is it's just right now starting to be a buy, but everything is going for this one. It's got the 97 relative strength. We've got sales that are going up. Again, I think that this one is a buy at about 42, 43 on its way up. So we want to set the buy stop limit to trigger as it's moving up above that level. And I definitely think you could do that. So I definitely like this one, and I think you can make some money on this one because I do think it's going to reverse, and I think it's going to reverse higher. So very, very good. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Let's look at Tesla going up. No, okay. Neo. Car parts. Oh, car parts been a reversal. Okay. I got shaken out of car parts. I like this one, PRTS. And by the way, everybody, companies that deal in car parts are counter-cyclical. So when the economy gets bad, things like O'Reilly and stuff like that, they get better because people have less money to spend on new cars, so they fix their old ones. So car parts dealers like car parts and internet ones, they actually do better. So just FYI. Okay, wow. Carparts.com. Let's look at the daily on it. Yes, we did have a nice reversal. Absolutely. Yeah, you were absolutely right about this reversal. Thanks for bringing that up. As you can see, it's moving above. It potentially is going to move above this line. So PRTS is the symbol, and it's buyable if it moves above about 1331. 1331. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to possibly, if you want to play this one, if we get another up arrow tomorrow, which I think we might, and it moves above this this 40-day line, set a buy stop limit order at about to actuate at 1331 with a buy price of 1341. And if you need more information on what I'm talking about with a buy stop limit or a buy stop order, I made a video and I put that into Chart School. This shows you kind of how to do it and what it's all about. What a buy stop limit order is, it's an order that will, if the stock moves up, it'll buy it as it's moving up. So that's what we want to do here. Great. Parts.com definitely did have a reversal, and that's a good one. So Corsair and Parts, I'm liking both of those. I'm liking both of those issues. All right, so let's see. Great chart. Oh, okay. Yeah, IMO, and let's look at IMO. Let's look at the chart on IMO. Let's look at the chart. Imperial Oil. Wow. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this one. It's got a relative strength of 69. It does have unfortunately, it has a downward trend on the chart. So I don't like that. Most of the oils have been hit really hard this year. So even though it's moving up, and it's definitely moved above the 200-day line, which I like, it still just is not time yet for the oils. We're off in terms of sales. Gosh, I would have to pass on this one. I would have to pass on this one. Yeah, 4 out of 9, unfortunately. We have funds that we're moving out of it. Yeah, you just want to pass on this. So, oh, I maybe said IMO. Yeah, IMO. Be careful on this one. Imperial Oil. Be a little bit careful on this one. I don't think this is a good chart. I wouldn't buy this chart. But whatever. Okay. Fastly. Oh, Fastly also very strong. Yeah, Fastly's been good. It had that tremendous pullback. And I was in it when it pulled back. FSLY. And I'm glad I had a stop loss because, man, I would have been skinned if it hadn't. But you're right. It's moving very nicely. It had, what happened is it lost one of its biggest customers, which is TikTok. It represented about 12% of its income. So that's when it really took the dump on the last earnings. That was right the day before earnings. Let's look at that chart. Wow, you know what? You might be right about this. The buy point on this one, interesting. Yeah, see, this is the dump that it took here, and I thought it was a goner, but it looks like it has come back. Yeah, absolutely, looks like it's come back. Now the question is, where is it buyable? Well, the first level that you could buy it, it's just exceeded that, is 102. So you're right about Fastly. 97 relative strength, so that's very good. It's a little bit of a choppy chart. Let's look at the weekly. And of course that's the consolidation at 117, and we see this very nice. It's just going right up to the 21 days. So I don't know. You know what? I might buy this. This is definitely buyable. Nice. Okay, we're still cash flow is still negative, but we have tremendous funds in it. This is this is a good chart. I would watch this one. I wouldn't buy this right away. I want to kind of see a little bit more conviction. I want to see if it can hang above about this 102, 105 level. Let's see if there's a consolidation there. It may just keep on going up. It's definitely buyable if it moves past 117. So I mean, it's getting ready. It's getting ready. Let's see if it pulls back to the 10-day line. I'm a little bit concerned about how steep this ascent is, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good one. I'd watch this one as well. So thank you for that very, very much. Buy point for DraftKings. Let's look at DraftKings. DKNG. There we go. And this is DraftKings, and let's look for a good buy point on this. Always start at the weekly chart first, and we have a nice cup. Very nice, very nice. And it's 53.72. So the buy point on DraftKings, DKNG, is equal to 53. Let me see if I can get that correct. 53.72. 72. So there you go. Did I get that in there? 53.72. Okay, so now, there you go. You'll see it now. So 53.72. It's currently at 52.40. You can buy this right. You can buy this a little bit short. You can buy this a little bit below. It's pulled back, so you don't want to buy it now because you can see these red bars. You don't want to buy them on those red bars. Here's what you want to do. Right at this 53.72, which is right here, you want to buy it right as it's moving above this pivot right here. 53.72. I'm going to put this down. DKNG 53.72. That's your buy point. And so what you want to do is set a buy stop limit order at 53.72 plus 10 cents, 53.82. So you want to activate it at 53.72 plus 10 cents, 53.82. That's where you want to buy it. It's very strong. 96. That would be the reversal on it. Let's look. We have some strong sales growth here, which is tremendous. We have excellent fund ownership, and it's setting up very, very nicely. It's very nice. So here's what I would do. The buy point on it, 53.72. you want to buy it at 53.82. So thank you very, very much for that on DraftKings. Let's see if I can get TTCF. This is probably be close to one of the last ones for today. TTCF, I think it is. Is that what you had? TTCF, right. Very good. Tattooed Chief. I don't know this one. Manufactures plant-based foods and ingredients in California and Italy. Huh, I've never heard of this one. I have never heard of this one. It seems like, okay, so it's got 50 million shares. So this is interesting. Okay, I don't know this one. It looks like it is just come out of the chute. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one's just a little bit risky. 86. It does have some nice support. You know what? I'm going to have to... 6 out of 9, so that's not bad. You know, I'm just going to have to pass on this one, unfortunately. I just don't know enough about it. It's a little bit thin. I think you want DraftKings. I think that's your better bet. So the ones that we found that are kind of really interesting right now, of course, Parts.com, PRTS, DraftKings, DRNG, and then, of course, Corsair, CRSR, Corsair Gaming. I really like Corsair Gaming. I've been trying to buy Corsair Gaming. Have not successfully done it. But hopefully tomorrow. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to be off on New Year's Eve and New Year's, on Christmas Eve and Christmas, so I won't be here on Thursday and Friday. I'll be here tomorrow. That'll be the last day this week, and then I'll be back Monday, the weekend between Christmas and Christmas and New Year's. Till then, happy trading. I hope everybody's well, and I hope that you'll have a happy, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, of course. And thanks for everyone for watching, and please tell your friends about it. If you want to sign up for Action Trade Alert, it's super easy to do. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor, and sign up right there. And also, if you're looking on TikTok, just go to my profile. It's super easy, and just hit that, and it'll get right to the website. So till tomorrow, I will see you. Happy trading.